RD 2.0. Love this car. This car drives with sharks and high-end cars that cost like $3,300 with no issues, and I absolutely love this car. So we're going to touch on the chassis now. Really quickly, I'm going to pop up on Google here, or whatever search engine you use, and I'm going to show you guys the relative affordability of the chassis kit that I have. So, this is not including shipping, obviously. This is from Super G. This is the Yokomo RD2.0. And so this is my chassis. This is what I started with. So you can get this chassis from normally about $200, depending on where you go. Hobby Town's the same way. So like you see over here, typically $199 to $210. A-Main has it for $209. eBay has it for $209. Hobby Town has it for $209. Free delivery, 30-day returns. RC Planet has for $209. So it just very, very good car, very affordable. Starting chassis. Now this car, you have to build it. Saying that, when you have a chassis, you're going to get something like this, and I'm going to go through my chassis in a second on camera and show you guys what I'm talking about. But this is the chassis that you would end up buying. This is what the parts will look like when you have a stock car. But everything's high-grade plastic. It's really solid. These cars aren't designed to run into things, so you're not, beating and banging off walls like a basher. But that's the RD 2.0 chassis. So we're looking at anywhere from $209 to, $195 to get the chassis. That's not including all of your parts you have to get over time. So one step you could do to get into a starter build is you could buy a Rookie 2.0 for $209. You could sit on that kit for, a few weeks, because if you're a novice builder or like wow, look at this. This is Amazon. You might even be able to get this on Prime. Amazon has one on here for $187.74, and that you might even get that Prime ship. That's even cheaper. But if you go like through lost train of thought, go through A-Main. A-Main has $30 off $350, so you could get some of your electronics when you first start too and save a little money. But yeah, 25% off, free delivery 15th to the 28th. Not sure where it's coming from for that, but that's cool. Yeah, look at that. So that's the same thing. That's no different. That's the same chassis we're looking at, $187 on Amazon today. So there's that. That's the chassis. Now I'm going to cut over to camera audio and walk you guys through my actual car that I have that I drive now, and we're going to touch on that stuff. These are $10 on Amazon. They're kind of a pain in the butt. The rears aren't the greatest, but these ones, so I just kept the front posts because these are the easiest. So, but front posts are just Amazon posts with round magnets. Back posts, these are Gorilla mounts, they call them. They're a little more pricey. These Gorilla mounts usually come in a set. They're about $45. Best magnet mounts you can get, though. But this is what I talk about when I'm doing this video today, saying you guys can build these cars over time. You don't have to jump into a $600 car next week and go, well, I don't got the money for it. So as we're looking at my car and we're talking about it, it's got nice bougie mounts in the back just because these are better for what I need them for. This was 3D printed for my buddy Jeff. Really cool rear bash bar mount. So this is an ESC. That is basically like a computer for the whole car. This ESC tells everything else what to do. It controls the motor. It runs the power from the battery. It, can adjust boost. It can have boost. You can have more power, less power. You can turn your motor through the ESC, things like that. So this is the ESC, one of the most important components. This is a motor. Every RC car motor has different turns. This is a 10.2, so it's a smaller turn, but I think it's like higher RPM. So higher RPM motor turns 13.5, 10.2, whatever. This is just what was recommended to me when I built my car. So a bunch of people helped me build my car, and now I'm going to try to help other people build their cars. But also, Hobbytown in Mentor, Ohio, Lunar Drift, great people to work with. Highly recommended if you're interested in getting into these cars, or before you make the jump and want to come check it out. They run Tuesdays and Saturdays at the track, or any other day during the week that they're open. And normally somebody's there to help, run you through a car and get you going with it. So this is the back half. That's all that. My car's upgraded already. It has Yokomo shocks in the rear, nicer shocks, big bore shocks. They have a little bit more movement to them. But the stock shocks that come with the RD2 kit are absolutely perfect. You don't have to upgrade. I just upgraded because I was ready to. RST Rev D servo. Love that servo so much. It's been great. One of our buddies made chassis kits that were carbon fiber, so it has a carbon fiber upper lower deck conversion. But that was when I had it for a month, and I came up on a deal. I paid $40 for this to upgrade from the plastic to the carbon fiber. But everything besides my big bore shocks, everything else is still plastic on this chassis. Transmitter and radio or Radio Master, $100 to $120, another $11 for batteries. But we're going to go through a build list of parts you'll need. But I was just trying to show you guys the initial chassis. So this right here, as it sits, is probably at least a $450 to $500 car. But as I was saying in the whole type about a budget build with this thing, is this car was built over time. And I could have got a cheaper servo. I probably could have got a cheaper gyro. I probably could have got a cheaper motor. Like, there's options. You're not limited to just this, but this is what my experience was, and this is my build. So this is my Yokomo Rookie 2.0, RD 2.0. Love this car. This car drives with sharks and high-end cars that cost like $3,300 with no issues, and I absolutely love this car. So this is my Rookie Drift 2.0. Yokomo, carbon fiber upper lower deck, big bore, just this car looks awesome. This is the normal body I run on this car at the moment. She's pretty jank, but bodies are expensive too. You can either get a cheap body or an expensive body. Just depends on what car you want. Most of the time, sometimes guys are selling bodies cheap, or you can go your own route and spend a month painting your body if you want to, or spend a couple weeks painting your body, but you can buy like accessories and stuff. But we can get into a body build breakdown later on, but this is just one of the many body options that I have. But that's what the car looks like with a body on it. And we're going to jump into now the parts list on what else you need to finish your Yokomo RD 2.0, and then we're going to do a total at the end here. Build breakdown for the Yokomo RD2. I built this car last year before the drift season started at Lake Erie Speedway for stuff because I wanted to be able to run. They have an RC track there. I have no idea what the condition of it's going to be this year because of it being outdoors. But that was an option last year, so I wanted to build a car, and I kind of always wanted one because hobby grade stuff is so much more fun because it's, you got more power and everything else. It's not like a cheap Jada Toys all-wheel drive. So, past that, we're going to get into this real quick. So, the motor that I ended up going with, and this was supposed to be like a budget build, but now stuff's gone back up in price, but, the system that I did with my car was I bought a part every other week or every other 2 weeks when I started building my car. I didn't do it all at once. And the reason I did that is to be able to save some money and build it over time, because every time you tell somebody, you're like, oh, your build initial cost was like almost $500, they're like, oh, I can't do that. Well, if you bought like a $60 motor 1 week and waited for that to ship, and then your next paycheck you went and you bought your ESC that you need, and then the next week you bought your servo, that's the system that we're going to talk about today. So, this is the style motor I got. I got it in purple. This has been a very good motor for my RD2. It's good power. It has the ability to be tuned for boosts and stuff like that. And when I ended up getting the motor, it was like $43 on AliExpress. Obviously, you don't have to use this motor. You can find a cheaper alternative, but this is just my build specs to get you guys a good idea. And a lot of people like driving my car, so I'm just going through that. So it was a Thunder 540 Drift Express. This is a 10.5 turn motor with sensor connections on the side, so you can have your ESC plugged directly in, and then it's got the pre-soldered mounting points for the bullets to plug into. So you can, if you ever want to move this motor or motor burns up to replace it, you can unpin your connectors. So we'll get into that too. So this was the motor I went with. I like it. Seems to do good. ESC. This is the ESC I went with. I'm not crazy in tuning anything yet. So for, just looking into a starter car, it was a very good ESC that I started with. Liked it a lot. Did the job. It gets the job done. Everything's pre-wired, pre-soldered. So all you have to do is like the ends here, with your other connections to other things. But everything on the ESC itself is already done, which makes a big difference. This was $50. Pretty good price for ESC. It's good. It works well. It's got a switch you can mount anywhere you want it. It's got, the, whatever they call those, the capacitors, extra capacitors. But so this was the ESC I went with. Liked it. It seems well. I did not go with this SP 020 V2, but this is what was recommended to me when I started because it's tunable. So if you know somebody at the track or somebody who can get you going, you could actually tune these to have more gain, less gain, more response, less response, things like that. And the price point at $73 was not as bad. The one that I have is this one. It is a Rev D RS TS, I believe. We'll see if it comes up. Nope, that's not it. I'll just do Rev D servo. There it is. This is the servo that I have. The reason I went with this servo is because the day that I wanted to get the parts for my car, Hobbytown, this is what they had in stock. So a lot of people were building cars at that time, so they were limited on the parts that they had. This particular servo is incredible. I love it. I can't recommend it enough. A bunch of my buddies run this servo. It's just very good. I haven't even really messed with tuning it or programming anything, but in the RD2, it's been great. So you're looking at a $94 price point. V4 gyro, best gyro in the game you can buy to start out. A ton of my buddies run these. V4 is programmable, tunable. You can, it's a little bit of a learning curve to get it going. Most of the time, people have helped me get them going, so it's good to have a good community. But reality is, if you're going to build one of these locally, you're probably going to go up to Mentor at some point and talk to the guys out there, because the guys at Lunar Drift are incredible, and Mentor Hobbytown will help you get everything you need. If you don't find other alternatives to buy your parts on your own, say like you order through online, or you go, you get them 1 week or 2 weeks, something like that. So this is the gyro I have. This is the radio I have. This is another thing that adds a huge price point to the whole entire setup. But working on, cheaping it, a budget build and a budget thing, I picked up the Radio Master M212 4-in-1. 4-in-1 is supposed to be better for drift stuff. That's just what I was told. I don't know if it's true. But at $130, it has a price match guarantee on their site, so if you find it cheaper somewhere else, they'll match it. It comes bundled with everything, so you have the receiver that'll come with it. The only thing it doesn't come with at this price point is batteries. So that's, I believe, is the next thing I have over here. Okay. Next thing is you're going to need bullet connectors. Bullet connectors and motor connectors. Bullet connectors are, I believe these ones were for your battery connections, and where my cursor's moving. Those ones get soldered to the end of the negative and positive on the ESC wires that'll plug into the battery to get power. And then these other connectors will go into your motor. If these aren't the ones, you also have to get the ones that do the battery connection as well. But they're relatively cheap. They're like $8 or $9. Batteries are another thing. These were the batteries that were recommended to me. You can go and get any battery you want to do, as long as it's within a certain ohm. I'm not positive on those exactly, but I'm sure if people comment down below on this video or get involved, we can help guide you a little bit more. Mine are just 7.4s. This was a 2-pack for $60. I got them for $40 a few months ago. It was crazy. I can't believe they're expensive now. This is the battery charger I got. Love it. Works great. When I got it, it was on Amazon for $36. So just watch for deals. This bundle was what I ended up going with when I got it. LiPo bags are great. They're usually required at most tracks depending on where you go for charging. This one has a side door. You can feed all your wires through when you're charging your battery. It zips up, so if anything does happen with the battery, it's in a contained LiPo guard bag that's fireproof, so if anything goes wrong. And then these were the batteries for the Radio Master. Relatively cheap. They're like $12. It's like a e-cig battery style. But Heli Direct sends them out. It's usually like really cheap shipping. Comes in a couple days. They're down in Tennessee or somewhere in that area. So that's the initial build parts list. Roughly factoring in the servo that I went with besides the servo I was recommended. We're looking at $301.69, and then you've got to figure, all right, the RD2.0 kit's like $187. So at the end of the day, to have a car minus a transmitter and a radio and batteries to run it, you're at like $488.69. And then say you factor in, just for a rough budget build idea, you get like you can even buy a pre-painted crappy Amazon body if you wanted to, and they're like $20 if you just wanted to start driving with the guys. That's what happened there. Okay, $488 plus another $20. So you're looking at about $501 to get into a really good car. We'll do 301 before the chassis, plus the $187 Amazon RD2. Plus the $120 for the transmitter and radio. So you're like $6, and then say $50 for your batteries. So you're $650. Like I said, you're about $650 at the end of the day. But to initially get the car built, like I was saying through this whole entire video, you can do this over time. You say you want to buy your motor and ESC 1 week, $119. Get your motor and ESC on the way. Work another 2 weeks, make a little bit more money. Order your gyro for $75.99. Get that coming. Then you get your servo, depending on if you want to use a Yokomo servo, a RD servo, whatever servo catches your eye, because the actual Yokomo servo is a little cheaper. It's like $72. So you buy that the next week or the next 2 weeks. You build this over time and say, so if we do the full total of what was it, 608 was it that we had, I think? Where's the final total? We had, 658. So let's divide 658 over 4 weeks, by 4 weeks. You're looking at $164 a week to have a drift car by the time you're done. If you want to do it longer, say we go back, we'll do 658 divided by 8 weeks, which would be 2 months. You could have a drift car built for $82.25 a week. This is just me explaining how easy it would be to get into something, that is a cool thing to do. But that basically sums it all up. We're looking at about $301 in parts, $100 and something for the chassis, and then your final total of everything all together is going to be like $650. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share. If there's anything I was incorrect on in this video, go kindly and address me in the comments and happily help correct people in a better direction. This is the first video of a playlist series on RC drifting that I'm going to start doing. And the next episode we'll get into is bodybuilding and the process involved in that, because I've done quite a few of those and there's some money tied up in those as well. But yeah, guys, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up like I said. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos this year. We're going to keep doing more content as the year goes on. All right, everyone have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you again soon.